Have you ever wondered why some people seem to float through life, seemingly unbothered by the hurdles and hiccups they encounter? It's a question that sparks curiosity, prompts self-reflection, and may even lead us down the path of life-changing wisdom. The answer, surprisingly, can be found in an ancient text, the Bhagavad Gita. Intriguing, isn't it? This ancient wisdom encapsulates a profound secret, a simple principle: give it to God. But what does that really mean? The Bhagavad Gita, an ancient Indian text, offers a profound concept called give it to God. Now, before you start picturing yourself in a temple, church, or mosque, let's clarify something. This isn't about religious surrender. It's not about handing over your life's steering wheel to a divine entity. This phrase, give it to God, is more about a psychological handover of worries and fears. The Bhagavad Gita, often considered a manual for life, provides us with a unique perspective on dealing with our daily concerns. It suggests that we surrender our worries, our fears, and our anxieties to a higher power. This higher power doesn't necessarily have to be God in the religious sense. It can be the universe, nature, or any other entity that you believe governs life. The essence of this concept lies in the act of surrendering our need to control everything, our attachment to specific outcomes, and our fears of what might happen if things don't go our way. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't it important to have goals and work towards them? Absolutely. The Bhagavad Gita doesn't advise against having goals or aspirations. However, it encourages us to focus more on the actions we take to achieve these goals, rather than obsessing over the outcomes. It's about doing your best in the present moment and leaving the results to the universal laws of cause and effect. What this principle teaches us is a form of mental and emotional detachment, a way to free our minds from the constant stress of what-ifs and should-haves. It's about understanding that we can control our actions and efforts, but not the results. By embracing this idea, we can alleviate a significant amount of stress and anxiety in our lives, leading to a more peaceful and contented existence. So, how do we apply this in our lives? Well, it's simple. Whenever you find yourself worrying about an outcome, remember to give it to God. Let go of your attachment to the result and focus on the action you can control. In essence, give it to God encourages us to let go of attachments to outcomes and focus on the actions we can control. It's not about giving up, but rather about giving in to the flow of life and finding peace within ourselves. The principle of give it to God isn't just a spiritual concept. It has tangible benefits for our mental well-being. Let's dive into these benefits, shall we? One of the most immediate effects of adopting this principle is stress relief. When we hand over our worries to a higher power, we're essentially saying, I've done my part and now I trust you to do yours. It's like unloading a heavy backpack after a long hike. This act of surrender can significantly reduce our stress levels and create room for peace and tranquility. Now think about the last time you were really worried about something. Did you notice how it consumed your thoughts, leaving little room for anything else? By choosing to give it to God, we can free up that mental real estate, enabling us to focus on the tasks at hand. We become more productive, more efficient, and more present in the moment. We're not preoccupied with the outcome. Instead, we're fully engaged in our actions. This principle also aids in cultivating emotional resilience. Life is a series of ups and downs, and it's easy to get swept away by the currents. When we give it to God, we're acknowledging that we don't have control over everything. It's a humbling realization, one that fosters a sense of acceptance. We learn to weather life's storms with grace and equanimity, bouncing back from setbacks with greater ease. Moreover, the give it to God principle shifts our focus from worries to actions. We understand that our role is to do our best, leaving the results to a higher power. This shift in perspective frees our minds from the shackles of worry and anxiety, allowing us to live more fully and authentically. So the next time you find yourself weighed down by worries, remember this principle. Take a deep breath, do your part, and then let it go. Trust in the process, trust in the divine, and most importantly, trust in yourself. When we give our worries to God, we free up mental space to focus on what truly matters, our actions and responses. So how can we apply this ancient wisdom in our modern, fast-paced lives? Just ponder for a moment. You're caught in traffic and late for an important meeting. Instead of letting stress consume you, take a deep breath and give it to God. Acknowledge that some things, like traffic, are beyond your control. This simple act of surrender can instantly reduce your stress and anxiety. Now let's consider another scenario. You're experiencing tension in a personal relationship. Instead of ruminating on the issue, give it to God. Remember, you can't control other people's actions or reactions, but you can control your own. By surrendering the outcome, you free yourself from the burden of trying to fix everything. You allow space for understanding and compassion to grow. And then there are those personal challenges that keep you up at night. Perhaps you're worried about your health or concerned about your financial future. Instead of letting these fears control you, give it to God. Let go of your need for certainty and trust that whatever happens, you have the strength and the resilience to handle it. Incorporating the give it to God principle in your daily life doesn't mean you should stop making efforts or taking responsibilities. It's about acknowledging that despite our best efforts, some things are simply out of our hands, and that's okay. It's about understanding that sometimes the best thing we can do is to let go and trust the process. You see, life is full of uncertainties and challenges, but when we learn to give it to God, we free ourselves from the unnecessary burden of worry. We open ourselves to peace, acceptance, and the possibility of positive outcomes that we might not have anticipated. So start today. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or anxious, take a moment to pause, breathe, and give it to God. It might feel strange at first, but with practice, it can become a powerful tool for managing stress and cultivating inner peace. Remember, the power to free your mind lies within you. It starts with a simple decision to give it to God. The Bhagavad Gita offers us a timeless solution to an age-old problem: worry. It teaches us to give it to God, a principle that encourages surrendering our worries, fostering inner peace. By embracing this concept, we can navigate life's hurdles with a calm, serene mind. I encourage you all to try this approach. Observe the changes it brings to your mental state. So are you ready to free your mind and embrace a worry-free life? The choice is yours.